Hi, people.
Hello.
That's it. End of podcast. Done. Pack it up. We're going home.
No, but I've put so
I'm.
much effort into my research in just one day. I've got so much
You
to
realize
talk
I'm.
about.
You realize I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say on half of the stuff you're going to talk about because of one reason.
What?
It's coming out your mouth. Nah.
Oh,
Hi there. We're Gaming Kin, as you know. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to it. I mean, it kind of says in the title. Oh, you fucker. Sorry. It kind of says in the title. I'm currently playing Bloodborne while I'm doing this because I'm a multitasking legend and I'm being eaten by a giant fly. But no, I'm Josh. Fanny Wad over there's Jack. We're just going to talk about a few things and see what happens.
yeah. Should I start then?
I just get eaten by a giant fly, so yeah, you start.
Yeah. Well, at the time of recording today, on the 14th of January, CES wound up on Friday, so just 2 days ago. And after a total week of nerdgasms all around, Hyperkin showed off plenty of neat retro accessories, but two of them really stood out. And one of them is a Duke, which is the most people will remember as the original Xbox controller, which some people liked and some people didn't. I wasn't a fan of it. I have kind of smaller hands, and it was too big for me personally.
That's
But
what she said.
this absolutely massive controller is oddly it's making a comeback at the end of March, according to Hyperkin, and it's going to retail for about $70 US. International pricing hasn't been released, but um, it's probably going to be about 50 quid here. Um,
I will probably buy that actually because I
because you
nothing more that can be said about that. I have big hands. Leave it be at that, and we won't say anything else
well,
and keep this
given
at least somewhat family friendly.
yeah, well, given that it was succeeded by the highly successful Xbox S controller, which was a lot more ergonomic. Um, the
For
Duke's
people with tiny
Return,
hands.
it does tap into some very odd nostalgia. Like, I really want one because I remember playing on it, but it does have some modern touches. Like, while the button placement is the same as it was on the original,
I'm
there
assuming that she was in the dual motor.
I believe it is.
Uh,
I couldn't see any of that um, in the news surrounding it, but it will have two tiny shoulder buttons that will act as the black and white buttons. However, the black and white buttons on the face will still function on the controller, so it is an option. It is also noticeably lighter than the original as well, reportedly. Other modern features it includes the Xbox One's view and menu buttons, and found in the middle, um, but at the dead center where the Xbox logo once was, it's got a big circle with a screen inside it, and it would play the boot up screen animation from the original Xbox when it's pressed. Um,
ooh,
this controller
that's
will
not good.
only work wired, but it is compatible with PC, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. There was also another uh, retro thing showed by Hyperkin, and it was the Ultra Game Boy, which it's aluminium, and as well as having the classic volume and contrast dials from the original handheld, it includes a third dial for adjusting the backlit LCD display's RGB spectrum, and there's also an option to turn off the backlight entirely. It will
So we
include
can go
a
back to the good old days of like
yes,
angling the thing for like 9 hours just to get like
yes.
30 seconds of gameplay before the light changed.
Well, maybe not nine
Personally,
hours. Maybe not 9 hours, but I'm just about to go into that. Um, the device has a built-in battery, which will last for 6 hours. Well, last for about 6 hours, and it will be charged using a USB-C. It also comes with a pair of stereo speakers, as well as left and right connections for audio output for streamers. They're also customizing the device, so people who are into music can use the console to create modern chiptunes. So, the kind of 8-bit sound of music from like Mario and Pokemon. You can recreate that kind of stuff yourself. They're targeting this for late summer this year, with a price tag that is below $100, which is about £70 here. It
How much?
it doesn't include any built-in games, but it will work with all classic Game Boy cartridges, and potentially it could play Game Boy Color games as well. However, with Nintendo revisiting some of its older hardware with the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, there's been speculation that they would be working on something similar to the Game Boy with the built-in games. While Nintendo hasn't announced anything about that, it would be amazing to see it. They do say they intend to release more NES and SNES Classic Edition consoles this year for people who weren't able to get their hands on one due to the fact they knew it was going to be in high demand and gave out about 25% of what they think they could have sold. I mean, the demand was so high and the supply was so low. They're going to re-release them, both of them this year, hopefully, and I definitely plan on getting at least one of them this year.
Well done.
Oh, that's a lot for you to take in there, isn't it, Josh?
Well, no. It did sound like you did read it off a piece of paper, though. I'm doubting your memory because you couldn't remember all that. Now, my biggest issue with that.
I had notes. I didn't read it word for word, but I had notes.
Oh, you had notes, did you?
My memory isn't as good as it used to be.
It was never that good to begin with.
Exactly. That's the worrying part.
Alright. My biggest concern with that is right now everyone seems to be all, retro this, retro that. Remember the good old days of this, that, and next thing? See, I was there for the good old days of this, that, and next thing, and there was absolutely nothing good about a non-lit screen because I remember long car journeys.
Oh, that was horrible.
On the motorway. You're pausing every 3 seconds because there was no street light. You couldn't see shit. And even when you did have optimal lighting, if it was too bright, you still couldn't see shit.
Yeah, because it was glare.
Yep, it was just the whole process was infuriating.
Yeah.
And I think it made a lot of games appear harder than they actually were.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, unless you are playing your Game Boy games on an emulator these days, it is kind of hard, like with the older Game Boys, particularly the Color and the original Game Boy, they were ink-based screens. So by now, they'll start to peel. You'll have bleeding and ghosting, and it'll still be it'll be quite difficult to play on those systems, even with lighting at what it should be for playing those games. So I think bringing it out. I mean, I can see why it's a bit more expensive. It's the built-in battery, all the extra stuff that's been added to it.
Do you not remember?
I mean,
do you not remember the original SP?
Yeah, I remember that. I loved that thing.
That was cheaper when it was released than the Game Boy Advance was.
Yeah.
And the Game Boy Advance did not have a built-in battery, did not have a backlit screen, and was all in all a very difficult handheld to love. And trust me,
I love my Advance. I've still got my Advance, and I'll just sit in bed and play Pokemon Fire Red until I have to turn the light out because it's like 4 in the morning.
Yes, now that was one of the biggest drawbacks for lit screens. Oh, I can't see anymore. I'll actually get some sleep. Nah.
However, there are some companies on the internet who will make you custom Game Boys and Game Boy Advances with backlit screens, custom artwork on it. Like I was going to get my brother and sister for Christmas original Game Boys, not the Game Boy Color, like the old big brick ones. I was going to get myself one as well, and I was going to get they were all going to have the backlights. One would have a Charizard on it. One would have a Blastoise. The other one would have a Squirtle. Or no, one would have a Charizard. One would have a Blastoise. One would have a Venusaur. It would be the 3 Kanto starter Pokemon, and I thought it was going to be an amazing thing. But it is a bit on the expensive side if you're this side of the pond, because they do come from the States. So on top of getting it built and designed and customized, you also have to think about shipping and taxes and things. I think it was going to come to about $300-400 in total to get the 3 of them made and shipped over here. So, I mean, I do like the idea of it, though, I must admit.
Idea, great. Practicality, not so great. Now, what we need is a handheld that does everything. I'm talking absolutely everything. Now, there is one on the market just now, and it's going to surprise you.
Yeah?
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Your phone, motherfucker. You can emulate anything.
Not on my phone, you can't.
That's because your phone's a piece of shit.
Well, actually, I was reading on GameSpot today that I might not be able to play Pokemon Go until I upgrade my phone. After this
you might not
month's
be able
update.
To
Pokemon,
what's the update?
The update. It won't really affect you, but for people like me who have older iPhones, I use the 5C just now. That can't update to iOS 11. I can get 10.4, and after this next Pokemon Go update, it won't run on anything lower than iOS 11. So I'm either going to have to jailbreak my iPhone to put iOS 11 on it, or upgrade my iPhone to play it on an iPhone,
or
get an Android phone.
Get a good phone.
Well, having the Android phone's handy.
I would suggest a good phone.
I prefer Android phones over Apple. I prefer Microsoft phones over Android, ironically, despite the fact that Microsoft phones are shit for phones. However, I do.
I'm trying to think of one bonus for a Microsoft. I can't think of a single.
If it's a Windows 10 phone and you have a Windows 10 computer, it has amazing connectivity between each other. And I use my Windows 10 phone for work on my Windows 10 computer. So I would, I could, leave my computer in the office and still access it. Like not even having to worry about, using the cloud. It would just connect straight to the computer because the building I was in had one Wi-Fi system. Well, it had 2 Wi-Fi systems, one for people and one for the folk that work there. So I just connected
guest and non-guest.
Yes, that's what I meant. So I was on the non-guest one, which is faster and more secure.
You see, my biggest issue is I don't like Windows 10.
I don't mind Windows 10. I love Windows 10.
Well, you seen the problems I had yesterday for something that should have been fucking piss easy.
Yeah.
And that was an issue caused by Windows 10.
It's better than Windows 8, for sure.
That's like saying Windows 10 is better than Windows ME.
Everything's better than Windows ME.
Exactly.
Windows 95 was better than Windows ME.
No, that's not true. That's not true. And the only reason I'm saying that's not true is because did you ever watch the actual user guide for Windows 95?
Nope.
It was a couple of people from Friends. If I remember correctly, it was Matthew Perry and I want to say it wasn't Jennifer Aniston. I think it was the person that plays Phoebe. The actual advert for that was, I think so. No, it might have been, I don't know. It was one of them. It was 2 people from Friends, and my God, this thing's like 9 years long, and it is diabolical. But well worth a watch. If you go on YouTube, you can find it. It's the Windows 95 user manual video. You will regret everything instantaneously.
I might go and check that out after we've done this.
I would definitely recommend it so that you can suffer as I have suffered. And there was actually a challenge a while ago to watch the full thing.
I will accept that challenge.
Well, that's it. It's a fucking challenge to watch the full thing. That's bad. That's like really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. It was. something. But no, if you feel so inclined, oh shit, if you feel so inclined, definitely one to like not watch and say you did.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
the
will.
fuck is
I
that?
will be watching it. It sounds like a blast. However, I have on the topic of Nintendo there. When we were talking about the old Game Boy, I
Yeah,
have Switch news. Um,
I,
so when you think of Switch and the games games that come out on any Nintendo console, what do you think?
underrated, poorly executed due to underration, and occasionally lots of good multiplayer couch gaming fun.
I generally think Mario, Zelda, kind of games that are for the family.
Oh wait, you were talking about actual games.
Yeah, well, no,
Ah,
I think family friendly, basically, is what I'm saying, right?
I'm sorry, but do you not remember Zombie U?
I've seen Zombie U. I have House of the Dead Overkill on the Wii, and
House of the Dead was very family
it's
friendly.
so
Used to
much
go and
fun.
play in that arcade.
No,
But
no, I'm talking about House of the Dead Overkill, where see everything that was they wanted to put in House of the Dead that they couldn't for the arcade machines, all the swearing and sexual references, that's all in there. Um, well,
sexual references. You know what? I would pump that zombie if it wasn't trying to kill me.
well,
Not sure how I feel about that one.
also they're not known for having great third-party support. Most of their games are developed in house. But with the Switch, Nintendo seem to be trying to turn that around. And at their Direct Mini presentation this week, um, they have announced a couple of games which are kind of surprising. I mean, we've had a couple of surprises this year already, and last year on the Switch with the likes of Skyrim, Doom, Wolfenstein: The New Colossus has also been announced to be released later
I'm not
this year.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Skyrim really wasn't much of a surprise.
Well,
Bethesda
considering it
trying
was
to
in the
milk
launch
this game
trailer,
again.
but it was also in the launch trailer.
Bethesda trying to milk this game
Yeah,
again
yeah.
is not really a surprise. I mean, they kind of can't re-release it anymore. They've done everything. It's
Oh, they'll
been
find a
Game of
way.
the Year.
It's
It's been,
Bethesda. They will find a way, and we will still buy it.
the Oculus
That's
Rift
the
when it's
thing.
out on the Oculus Rift.
It's out on PSVR.
Yeah, but when it's out on the Oculus, there'll be a brand new release
Yeah.
Oculus version
Oh,
now
yeah.
with 95 more Oculuses.
Well,
You can see a dragon's penis as he eats you. Well, why would I want that?
I don't think they would go into
What?
that much detail. Surely.
They would have to. There's nothing left.
Well,
There's like nothing left. They would have to go into that much detail, or actually like think of an original thing to add to it. Maybe decent DLC that doesn't suck major tits.
Well, I don't know what I don't know what they're going to do with Skyrim next, but the most recent thing is the Switch and the PSVR releases for it. However, they are releasing two games I've got here, which I really didn't expect. I'm going to be honest. And the first one has a release date of May 25th this year, and that is Dark Souls Remastered.
Ooh.
Dark Souls is coming to the Switch.
Yeah, I knew that. I actually knew that one.
Now it's going to be, it's basically going to be a port of the re-release, which was on the PC, which was called the Prepare to Die edition. However, it's going to be the Prepare to Die edition, but it's just going to be called Dark Souls Remastered. And on top of that, From Software have said that we should be getting a remastered version of Dark Souls coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC soon.
So they're doing a Bethesda.
Yes, they're doing a Bethesda.
Here's the remastered edition of the remastered edition.
Another surprising release is coming on February 27th this year, and this is a game that's been out since 2013. That's being released for the Switch, and it's Payday 2.
This is
Payday 2. You know Payday 2?
this is
Switch game. What? This is a
you
what?
stop. I don't know. You said this is, and then it just went silent.
Oh well, I was still talking.
Okay.
I was saying that the next game is also a surprise. It's being released February 27th. It is Payday 2. It's been out since 2013, and they're going to have a new character for the Switch version, which will be a timed exclusive. So it will then go to the other versions of the game: PS4, PS3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PC. Payday 2 will run in Switch's portable tabletop, and docked modes. It will feature a new interface and touchscreen support for the platform. And there's also the developers Overkill are also looking into making a VR version of the game. But in 2016, a Swedish publisher called Starbreeze announced that it had acquired the rights to the game franchise, and they have confirmed that Payday 3 is also in development, which may be just as fun as Payday 2.
No, I have never actually played Payday 2.
I've played Payday 2.
I have got Payday 2. Payday. I've got Payday 2. I've never actually played it.
It's quite fun. My biggest problem with it is in the you'll find this out in the first level of the game, so it's not much of a spoiler. But and also the game's been out like 5 years now, so anyway.
Still need to put a spoiler warning.
Spoiler alert. The drill is
Bruce
shit.
Willis was dead all along.
No, the drill is shit.
Aye, everyone knew that.
Yeah. It is shocking.
Even I knew that.
It is shocking.
How shocking are we talking here?
Well, I done the very first bank heist, and you have to reignite the drill every time it goes out. Now,
yes, which is
which makes sense. The police had raided the bank we were trying to rob, and
again, kind of their job, but okay.
I had about 7 or 8 cops in the room that I was in shooting at me, while I had 2 snipers outside shooting in, and the drill went out. So I've got like 9-10 folks shooting at me, and I've got to reignite this fucking drill.
Which is why you kill everyone, reignite the drill, and then teabag everyone. In that order.
I was going to teabag them first.
You see, that's where you went wrong. The drill wouldn't have been an issue, but you got your priorities wrong. So you can't really penalise the game for that.
Oh no, I'm not.
Now,
I just found it a pain that it seemed to be when it was quiet, the drill worked fine, but then when all the police were in, that's when the drill would decide to fuck up.
Well, yeah.
It's like I've seen people play and they've taken out swarms of cops, and then the drill will go down, and then they have to do it before the next wave of cops comes in. But no, mine always seems to go down in the middle of a wave of bloody cops, and it was just unlucky timing. I'm not putting the game down for that. I think it's a fantastic game.
I really think you can't put the game down for that.
It just annoyed me at the time. It still annoys me a wee bit, but I mean, it's because it's all RNG. I can't exactly go, oh, the game developers decided to make it like this. No, it's all RNG, and it makes for some funny situations at times as well.
Well, talking of glitchy as hell game tools, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember in one of the recent games I have played, I will have to remember the name of it, I was running around with a gun. Now, this gun in particular damages me to do damage. The more damage it does to me, the more damage it does to the enemy. And it's all about how long you hold it and all that fun crap.
Yeah.
Now,
Are you talking about the Far Cry DLC with the
that
with
freaking no, I'm not talking about.
with the laser
What was
that
it? Blood
drains
Dragon.
your life for? Yeah, that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was it's an optional weapon. You pick it up. What it does is it converts your health into damage,
Yeah.
but it's normally not that bad. But every now and then, what will happen is you will tap the button. So that should be like 20 health, deal about 30 damage in the story.
Yeah.
You tap the button and it instantly drains all of your health.
Hmm.
Now, you have a brief period where you can heal yourself before you actually die, but what happens is the damage that you've tried to inflict upon the enemy, so basically your whole health worth of damage,
Yeah.
then gets hit off of you. It glitches the weapon, then attacks you instead of the enemy. I'm going to remember the name of it, but it was just every couple of uses, just boom, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's you. You're screwed. Nothing. There's no way out of it. You can't heal yourself again. You're literally just dead. It was a lot like Final Fantasy 15's royal weapons.
Yeah. The armature weapons. Yeah.
Yeah, but just imagine using all of them at the same time indefinitely. And not
suck.
in that special mode. Yeah.
That would
So
suck.
it did a great deal. Now,
What?
I killed them,
They respawned.
but I haven't like touched a portal or anything. I haven't done anything for them to respawn.
So, any interesting gaming
But-
stories from you? I've just ran off 2 of the 4 that I've got notes for.
Only two?
I've got 2 more. These 2 are shorter though.
No, I actually don't have anything at this precise moment in time, purely out of I covered pretty much everything on the video that will be going up shortly.
Right. Well, here's another one. Like I mentioned how I'm on the video yesterday, which will be going up in the next couple of days. How I'm pre-ordering Monster Hunter. Now, as you know, my sister, her boyfriend Paz, my pal Ozair, and my brother are also going to get it. However, I'm not one to get collector's editions of games. They're often just a bit too expensive for my taste. But the rest of them, they like to grab one if it's a game they're really, really into, and if the special edition, the stuff you get extra with it, it seems to be worth the extra that you're paying. But they've seemed to notice a lack of availability of the Monster Hunter World collector's editions here in the UK.
By lack, you mean complete absence?
Yes, apparently. They decided.
What do you mean, apparently?
Well, I haven't looked personally. I'm just going off what my sister told me.
I think you can go by what she said, considering the fact they've been up and down
Yeah,
the fucking country.
yeah, pretty much.
There's nothing.
But they found the collector's edition, right? And it was
Right, take a
on
drink, will
eBay.
you? You, stop and take a drink.
But my tea's done. I don't have any tea
I
left.
don't care. Just something to like moisten your mouth so you don't go every 3 seconds. Do you know how annoying that's going to be to listen to? Are you speaking in Morse code?
Yes. I'm saying, please help me. I'm talking to a deranged psychopath.
But they don't know that. That's why I do this. Because then people think I'm weird, but at least harmless. And then they meet me, and it's like, oh dear fucking god, what have I got myself into? And everyone has a jolly chuckle.
Mm-hmm. That's better.
No,
I have Guinness.
that'll do.
That'll do.
Okay, that'll do.
So
Oh,
yeah, they are they found a collector's edition on eBay, and it was from Japan, and it came with all the stuff that you get with the collector's edition, except the game and the DLC.
Wait, what? So it's basically just the bonus features.
Yeah,
But
minus the DLC
well,
and the game.
wait, you mean it doesn't even come with the game?
No, it doesn't even come with the game. It is just
That,
right. The collector's edition. I think you get a steelbook, an art book, the OST on a CD, and the game and the DLC. However, they were selling everything except the game and the DLC at the same price you would get the collector's edition if you got it over here.
I'm guessing it's sold because someone will have sold it.
Yeah.
But that's bang out.
So because they can't get the collector's edition over here, and getting it from Japan meant not getting the game as a DLC, my sister's pre-ordered the base game, just the game, like me and my brother are going to do. But Paz has decided he's still going to pre-order the collector's edition. It'll come late, but he's now getting it from Poland, so he'll be getting it a few days after the rest of us. But he's going to get the collector's edition from sent over from Poland. But I mean,
well, at least he's getting it.
But
I mean, it was looking a bit dodgy about whether they would actually be able to get it at all.
But it does kind of remind me in a way of Halo, because they went the opposite extreme. They made so many collectors and limited editions of the first Halo game that the rarest version of the game actually ended up being just the bog standard game, which I find actually hilarious.
I actually think that was a marketing ploy.
It probably was, but you can actually get the steelbook version of Halo cheaper than a standard version of Halo, because I've got the steelbook version of Halo. Mm-hmm.
I got Halo for like £1.
Yeah.
Yeah, the normal just plastic cover was something like £6.
Yeah, because
but I think that was a marketing ploy.
It probably was to get more people to buy it for a higher price.
Well, if you force people to buy it for the price of a collector's edition, you go from a game which will sell for what, 30 to 60, depending on how big it is and what console, to 70 to 90. People are still going to buy the game. They're going to pay that extra. They're going to grumble about it. They're going to hate it, but
they're going to buy it.
They're going to take their wallet out their pocket and go, "Here's my money. Fuck me gently."
Yeah.
Especially if it's from EA.
I mean, but the point is, I understand that in this day and age that collector's editions are there mostly to encourage pre-orders, but it does seem a bit counterproductive to have apparently none in the UK, or at least very few that I can make out.
It was never meant to be big here.
I know, but it was. That's the thing. And it feels counterproductive, to be fair.
A lot of it's gone by previous sales.
Yeah.
It's gone by the sales of Monster Hunter Freedom on the PSP. It's gone by Monster Hunter, 1 through 4 or something. Is it just 3?
3.
But it's gone by previous sales.
Because 3 was on the Wii U.
But it's gone by previous sales, which, to be fair, you can't really argue with.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I know,
but... For them to then turn around and say, why the hell would we put so many pre-order special editions in when they're not going to sell, makes sense. Save them for where you can get the money.
Yeah, definitely. But I only have one topic left. This is
okay.
And I have a friend in Scandinavia called Valley, and he loves himself some CSGO. And CSGO is considered one of the esports these days. And esports.
Can we just say the full name?
Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It takes
Thank you.
so long to say.
But what about the people that don't play Counter Strike and have no idea what the fuck CS:GO is, or
Well,
the fact that people spend hundreds of thousands of pounds trying to get a knife skin for some reason, because
yeah.
that's apparently the most important thing ever.
Oh no. Well, esports could be coming to the Olympics. Esports Olympics medal events will be shaped in 2019, just before Tokyo 2020. Hopefully in time for Paris 2024. However, the Olympic Committee are saying that it must not infringe on Olympic values, which I presume means that the games can't be overly violent. Now, at the moment, the biggest games in esports, as far as I recall, are Counter Strike, Dota 2, League of Legends, and there's also the Overwatch League, which is just starting to become bigger. So I guess these may be ruled out. But there is another game which has a pretty big esports following at the moment, and that's Street Fighter. And since that's a kind of martial arts based fighting game, I could see that being considered for the esports Olympics medal events, considering we already have boxing, taekwondo, and judo at the Olympics already. I'm quite interested to see how all this pans out. And I think this is something.
Can we just clarify that this is not the actual Olympics?
No, this is the
there won't be
actual Olympics.
there will not be a bunch of people playing Counter Strike at the Olympics.
No,
that's not going to happen.
No, I doubt it'll be Counter Strike. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Street Fighter that's going to be played there. But no, I just thought talking about just mentioning Counter Strike was a nice segue into esports. To be fair,
Now you do realize I'm an avid gamer.
yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't
And
be doing this podcast. Yes.
Yes. Although I haven't really done much, I'm sitting playing Bloodborne, getting my ass kicked every 3 seconds. I'm an avid gamer,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like mixing games and exercise.
No.
As you know, I do both.
Yes.
I'm quite handy with a sword, done Kendo for years, done MMA for years. I like both. I will always like both. I do not combine them. The Olympics to me is exercise.
Well,
it is people going and showing that they are the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the strongest, the fastest, the ones that jump highest.
yeah. Well, the thing is,
I really do not want to think that a bunch of neckbeards are going to be sitting there playing Counter-Strike at the same time. And I say neckbeards and Counter-Strike for one reason, and one reason alone. The only person I know that plays Counter-Strike is a neckbeard.
fair enough.
And that's by his own admission.
Well, the way I see it is it's probably a way for the Olympic Committee to get younger people interested in the Olympics, because more younger people are following the esports, and also look at the rise of esports over the last, say, 5 or 6 years. I mean, revenue is higher than most sports at the moment. I mean, I think football, American football, and
FIFA.
well, that's football, and
I'm kidding.
F1.
Right now, MMA.
F1 are the only three that can beat esports at the moment. But with the way esports is growing, I think that'll only be for the next couple of years. So I think they're trying to capitalize on the popularity of esports to get more younger people watching the Olympics.
My biggest problem is this becoming the norm, and welcome to, what is it, 2022? The next World Cup is.
Yep.
And it's just going to be a bunch of people playing FIFA.
I don't think it'll go that far.
Really?
There were a couple of other sports that were considered for the Olympics. One of them I was actually personally quite excited about, and that was darts.
Darts is not a sport for the Olympics.
Darts is a sport.
I didn't say there wasn't a sport. I said it wasn't a sport for the Olympics.
Neither's golf, but that's there.
Yeah, golf is.
No, it's not.
Would you like to know why?
Golf is a long walk ruined.
Would you like to know why golf is an Olympic sport?
Why?
Because who watches golf?
No one.
Rich white people. Who watches like tennis?
No, rich white people don't watch golf. They play golf.
That's the same thing. Really, they don't. What they have is they have their freaking manservants play for them, and they go, "Oh, very good, memoir," and then they drive around in a golf cart.
I'll be at the 19th hole.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're done picking the
for anyone who doesn't
when you're
know,
done when
for anyone that doesn't know golf terminology, the 19th hole is the bar.
yes.
Just
when you're done with
there.
this, when you're done with this putt, please service my car. Just my wife needs seeing to as well. She's very amorous these days, and there's this one poor guy overworked the hell going. Yeah, boss, I got you. You know, I find that sorry, mate. Just geez a minute. I need a minute. But no, darts is not Olympic worthy purely because it's a pub game. What it should be is in the Commonwealth Games, because that's basically the poor man's Olympics.
No, the Commonwealth Games are the better Olympics.
Well, no,
they are.
No.
Think about it. Think about it.
Olympics has a shit ton more funding.
Every time there's a country who wins the Commonwealth Games, do you know what country really wins? Scotland. Because the Commonwealth Games is basically the British Empire Games. You know, every country in the Commonwealth Games acknowledges Queen Elizabeth II as head of state. India, Australia, Canada, Britain, obviously. Basically, it's, with the exception of the USA, I believe, it's just basically wherever Victorian Britain sent people to have colonies. I think because there's less countries and all that, it's shorter and it's better. Because I cannot be asked watching people run the 100 meters for 6 weeks straight. It is ridiculous. Even though the Olympics are 6 weeks, but they're about 4 weeks long.
Can you even run 100 meters?
Yes.
Can you? Right. Okay. Let me rephrase that. Can you run 100 meters in less than 10 minutes?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
When's the last time you tried?
My last day of physio.
And what was your time?
Well, I didn't actually run 100 meters. I ran 2.6 miles.
See?
2.6 miles is longer than 100 meters. And I done it in 13 minutes.
You done 2.6 in 13 minutes?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Now, please bear in mind that the British Army would like you to run 1.5 miles in less than, I think it's 13 now.
Considering the 4-minute mile.
Yes.
The standard to run a mile is 4 minutes.
That's not true. The standard to run a mile is on average. Let me see if I can work this out. Average person walks at about 6 miles an hour, run speed of just under double that. I'm talking about for fat, overweight cunts. But,
I'm not fat and overweight.
I didn't say
I'm
you were.
skinny and overweight.
What? Why are you getting so defensive? Oh, am I hitting a soft spot there?
It's only because I'm 5'4" that I'm overweight. Okay.
No, but the army would like you to do 1.5 miles in 13 minutes. So doing 2.6 in your shape and the fact that you're a smoker, you can understand the fact I don't believe that one.
Well, I figure I probably wouldn't be able to run 2.6 miles in 13 minutes on a road or in a field. But considering I was on a treadmill and I was just trying to keep up with the belt.
That doesn't freaking count.
I was being forced to run that fast. It hurt like hell. Okay.
A treadmill does not count.
A treadmill does count. It's still running.
No, it's not. It's putting one foot in front of the other and staying perfectly still.
Actually, because I've got a bad knee, I was kind of going sideways.
That's it. Wednesday, we're going out for a run. We're doing 2.6 miles. I will. Now it's a mile and a half from here to where
I'm
we
not saying no, we're
recorded
not because
yesterday.
I don't want to. I'm saying no, we're not because I'm working all day Wednesday. And I'm not running at night.
You've gone silent again.
I said I'm not running 2.6 miles in the evening. I'm working all day Wednesday. I ain't doing a run on Wednesday.
Hello.
Hello.
You went. I'm not saying Wednesday.
I'm working Wednesday.
Ah,
So I
what time?
can't. I'm working from 11:30 till 6:30. I think.
so yeah, we'll go at 6:30.
No, I'll be fucking knackered.
Exactly. Even better. If you can do 2.6 miles in 30 minutes, fucking hell, I'll believe you.
I won't be able to do it. Fucking knackered.
You won't be able to do it
Wednesday.
at all, mate.
Here's my plan. Wednesday, I'm going to finish work, go home, and play Final Fantasy.
That's what you do every night.
Yes. No. Some nights I play other games. And some
Well,
nights I just watch Top Gear on Amazon Prime.
I have forced you to get this installed so that we can do a cooperative stream. That should be done by tomorrow night.
Yep.
All you need to do is get to the first boss so you can get the bell to summon my ass. And
Yeah.
then
I'll do it once we finish this podcast. Well, I say once we finish this podcast. Once I've uploaded
will need
this
to,
podcast.
what we'll do is we'll call it a wrap there because it's going to be a very long podcast and we have a very long video to go up as well.
Yeah. Actually, this is actually about the same length as the video.
So yeah,
We've still got 15 minutes to fill before we've hit the minimum length we agreed on.
we agreed on a minimum.
Yeah, an hour.
Oh yeah, I forget. I'm not even with it. I have been shit in this podcast. I can tell you that for a fact.
That's because you've been playing Bloodborne.
Actually, no, it's because I've had no sleep and I really need a fag.
Have one then.
Cigarette frame. I can't. That would require moving. So
Well,
I will wait the 15 minutes.
fair enough. That
I
is-
hope nobody is actually watching my stream because I'm literally running around in a loop.
Yes. Just trying to think. Any games that you're excited for that we didn't mention in the video yesterday?
You know, like we said yesterday. Well, you keep saying yesterday, but they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, no,
So-
but we recorded it yesterday, so
The video we are putting up
yes.
is now. If you hear the podcast first, the video is about games in 2018 we're looking forward to, with a few exceptions. It's just up and coming games that we've seen and have really tickled our fancy, if you will. For example, there's a mention of this game, there's mention of another game, and there's a big bit on a different game.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get the idea. There is games mentioned,
Lots of them.
but well, not really.
9.
n-
9 games.
Like, yeah, that's not that many. I mean, I've spoke about more, but no, we'll get that looked at. We'll get
But no, is there any games coming up that we didn't mention that you are excited for or looking forward to?
yes.
Would you care to elaborate?
No,
Tell us what they are.
Nah. No, I mentioned all mine yesterday.
Fair enough.
What'll happen is that video will go live, and then about 3 seconds later, I'll find a ton of games that are coming out that I'm like, damn, son.
Well, I think
And then
uh,
we'll have to do a part 2.
yeah, well, I think we should actually add an honourable mention for that video, and I'm going to add it now because you mentioned it, and then once you mentioned it, I was like, yes, when we were planning this video, and that is the HD remaster of Shadow of the Colossus.
Right. You have gone silent again, so you're going to have to repeat everything you're saying right now.
I was saying Shadow of the Colossus that should be an honourable
Oh,
mention because
right.
you mentioned it, and that's what I thought you were going to go with instead of the other
Yes,
one.
but I had to go for that other one. I had to.
Yeah,
As soon as I'd seen it, there was no way I could do it. And now Shadow Colossus, I am genuinely looking forward to. There is nothing more satisfying than being the little guy climbing up a big guy, stabbing him in the head, and watching him die.
I think
Okay,
that's definitely an honourable mention for that video that we should have actually put in.
yeah.
But no, once you mentioned that, I actually got a bit excited for it because I didn't get the
Well, yeah.
chance. I didn't get the chance to play
It's-
it, but I thought it looked awesome.
You missed
I've
out.
seen
You
I've
missed out.
seen I've seen videos of gameplay and stuff, and I think it just looks awesome. So I'm excited to be able to hopefully play that this year.
That's due out soon. Can't wait
Yeah,
for it. It's Shadow Colossus was a great game,
like
and it was one of those ones that it was so out there
yeah,
that it was just so out there that nobody really expected it to be any good.
Yeah.
And then it was. It was
Yeah.
like really bloody good. Cult classic, as they call it.
yes. Everybody
But,
loves a cult classic.
Everyone loves a cult.
Everybody loves a cult classic.
Oh no, I just like cults. All hail the glorious leader.
Hopefully, there is one game I would like us to play, and hopefully stream if I can get the stuff to do it. Because we usually stream from PlayStation because that has YouTube streaming built in. So I'm going to need to get a capture card to do this one, and it's actually one of the games we mentioned earlier on tonight, and that is House of the Dead Overkill. I think that would be so much fun.
Why would you need a capture card?
Because I can't stream straight to YouTube from the Wii.
Why would you stream to YouTube when you can stream to Twitch, save the video, and then upload it to YouTube?
Because I can't do that on the Wii either. It doesn't have built-in streaming.
See, the more I find out about this Wii, the less I like
it. The Wii is fantastic. However, it is a
really.
bit... Yes, I love the Wii.
It seems to be extremely unuser friendly.
No, not really. Once you figure it out, it's fine.
Now, I didn't like the Wii purely because how come you're sitting there, you're bowling, you're doing whatever you're doing, and you're giving it everything you've got, and it's always won by the one guy that literally just sits there and goes,
Boo. Yeah, just sitting on the couch eating a
barely
cheeseburger, flicking his wrist about with it in his hand. Yeah.
And all right, I'm not saying this from the perspective of someone that keeps getting beat because of this. I'm saying this as the guy that does this.
Nah,
I won.
I don't know. I just find I find the Wii fun. I'm not a fan of playing single player games on the Wii. It is
There's
definitely
a single player game.
I'm sure you could find single player games on the Wii. Well, I've got one actually, and I play it occasionally. And that's PDC World Darts Championship 2018, not 2018, 2008.
Oh, why am I not surprised?
I know, right?
Why am I not surprised?
I also had Tiger Woods golf as well. But no, like I usually.
Oh wait! After you were saying about golf,
yes.
all that hate for golf.
All
yeah,
that
you
hate
play
for
Tiger
golf.
Woods golf.
Yes. I play virtual golf. No, I mean I'll play like I've got. We've got Wii Sports Resort for the Wii U. For the Wii, but we play it on the Wii U. And yeah, me, my dad, and my brother, we'll just sit and play golf or bowling or archery. There's like 12 different activities on it, and it's just a fun game to kill some time with some folk. Do you know what I mean?
It's just a fun game.
It is. It is fun. Well, I'll rephrase that. Some of it's fun if you're playing well. If you're playing absolutely pish, then
the Wii's infuriating as all hell.
Frisbee golf is the worst one for it.
What the hell is Frisbee golf?
It's golf, but instead of hitting a ball with a stick, you throw a Frisbee.
But that's not golf then. That's Frisbee.
It works the same as golf, but you just throw a Frisbee instead of hitting a golf ball with a golf club.
So you basically play basketball with a Frisbee on a golf course.
Kind of. pretty much. I'll let you see
Back.
I'll let you see frisbee golf on the Wii at some point, and then
I'm not sure I want to see frisbee golf.
all you do. It's so much fun, unless you're playing shit. Then it's infuriating as all hell.
Well, I'll take your word for it because frisbee golf just sounds like a hacky sack. One of those things that everyone does, but nobody really knows why they do it.
You could probably develop a hacky sack game for the Wii. It would just involve having to put some
Juggle.
Wiimotes on your feet and then have to kick it. Although because the control scheme involves pointing the Wiimote at the screen, you'd probably have to lift your head, your foot up to your head to actually control the things. But
You have to be a Olympic renowned gymnast to play this game.
Yes.
But it's so worth it.
No, yeah. Yes.
I see, that doesn't sound like it's for me. I don't like games that require me to be an Olympic star athlete to fucking play.
You don't have to be an Olympic star athlete to play Wii Sports, though.
No, and I kick everyone's ass at Wii Sports. Especially that sitting down one.
I have the Bigs as well, the officially licensed Major League Baseball game for the Wii somewhere, and that's quite fun.
I was incredibly disappointed with baseball on the
Wii. Baseball on the Wii Sports was kind of disappointing, but the Bigs.
But that's the Wii Sports. The Wii Sports were disappointing.
I loved Wii Sports. I mean, it was simple.
That says it all.
It was just so simple and fun because you had boxing.
It was
what else did you have?
It was a simpler time.
Boxing, golf, tennis, bowling, and baseball. It was just simple and fun. That's all it was.
And how many of them were you any good at?
Baseball, bowling, and tennis.
Well, I'm undefeated at baseball. I was never fond of the bowling. Tennis, I hated because you can't actually move your person.
Yeah. Although I do like how they automatically move to where the ball's going to go. It's all about timing your hit, at least. I mean, I thought that was better than...
It doesn't always. They don't always make it in time.
No, but they try to. They try.
But I don't like losing games because the computer can't keep up.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played strategy games. I've played real time. I've played tons of games where timing is crucial. I mean, I'm currently playing a freaking Soulsborne game, but the computer not being able to keep up would just infuriate me to no
end. I mean, you're never unless they go to the opposite side of the court you're never too far away to actually hit it, though, because if you swipe it, if you swing the remote just in time, they will dive and hit it at least. But it's all about timing on your swing for that one, though. So it's not so bad, I guess, to be fair.
Well, it's not for me.
But I did suck at boxing.
Yeah, everyone sucks at boxing because it doesn't count the nunchuck as actually moving.
No, that's not so much it. It's the fact that other people would set it up for me because we'd be playing multiplayer. I'd probably be in the kitchen getting a beer or in my room getting some juice or whatever, and they'd set it up for me. They'd always set it up right-handed, but I'm a lefty, so I really struggled with that because
that doesn't really affect much.
Well, no, because if you're right-handed, you have your right hand to the back. If you're left-handed, you have your left hand to the back. And when you throw a punch with your dominant hand, it actually does more damage in the game. So I'm throwing with my dominant hand, but it's not counting as much hit points. But then, because I'm throwing with my like because you always start with your offhand anyway, which would be my right, but they've set it up as right as my main hand. I'm doing more damage on the lead up rather than actually the finishing shot, which is hilariously
which
bad.
is really
It's an
You-
advantage,
that it
but
is. It's like
but see when you're
the
firing in a combo and you're expecting to get them with the last hit, and then it does almost enough damage. That infuriates me. That's all it is. It's my weird ass logic at work.
see, I wouldn't mind that. That wouldn't affect me overly much because if you're doing more damage with the lead up, then the punches they're not actively trying to avoid are the ones that are seriously hurting.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a cheating kind of way to win. So
What?
if you can't win with that advantage,
Oh no, I could win. Just didn't like it. Just didn't like winning that way. Anyway, that is us. I think.
well, hopefully the next one's a lot better.
Well, we've
I've
got
already ruled this one out.
yeah, we've got a month to get the next one sorted. So this time
Right.
next month we'll do the next one, and hopefully we'll have some better news and stuff for you. I'll have more Switch
And I
stuff
won't
for
be
you more likely.
And I won't be playing Bloodborne the whole time, trying not to fall asleep.
Yes, that as well. Yes, hope you enjoyed the podcast. Hope you join us again next time. And we will.
And if you didn't enjoy it, please don't base all our podcasts on this one.
No, they will hopefully get better. We have some other people who will be joining us in the podcasts, but they couldn't join us tonight for various reasons.
They're douches.
But
Especially
hopefully,
the tall one. The tall one is such a major douche.
oh, he's just a lazy bastard. No, I'm kidding.
No, yes. Come on, let's not sugarcoat
Well,
it here.
to be
It
fair,
is what it is.
he was meant to join us tonight because we're doing this over Discord, and he was meant to join us on Discord, but he installed it on his phone and he never even bothered logging into it. And he's been sitting playing I think he's been playing something on his phone. It's one of the new Marvel mobile games. While he's playing, I believe it's Fortnite. He's playing just now on his PS4. Because logic. I think he's probably also got my dad's laptop and watching anime on that simultaneously. But no, he was meant to do this with us tonight, but he couldn't. My sister, she's having a baby, so she's a bit knackered. So yeah.
Right. She's not having a baby.
No, well.
She is going to
she's
have a
going
baby.
to have a baby. You know what I mean? But yes, so hopefully we'll have them joining us in future podcasts where we'll be talking about more gaming news of whatever month we're doing it in. We'll be hopefully more stuff for you next month, and we will see you then. Would you like to say goodbye, Josh?
Goodbye.
Bye.